எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் இன்னைக்கு நட்சத்திரம் நகர்கிறது மூவி பற்றி கொஞ்சம் பேச போகிறேன். நான் ரொம்ப தமிழ் மூவிஸ் பார்ப்பேன், ஆனால் என்னோடய தாட்ஸ் இங்கிலீஷில் தான் ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். அதனால் கொஞ்சம் மன்னிக்கணும், நான் இங்கிலீஷில் பேச போகிறேன். பட் I hope you can engage with this analysis even if language might be a barrier. Thank you. Many movies try to establish a fictional utopia. Some center nature and sustainability, while some try to create an alternate reality that has made life better through science and technology. But Ranjith chooses to envision a utopia that is set within our current reality by centering characters and stories that break out of traditional molds that are programmed into each one of us since birth. Frameworks like patriarchy, caste, capitalism paint the way we experience and interact with the world around us. It takes a bold vision and many conversations to navigate the oppressions and contradictions that exist in today's society. I see this movie as a very important cornerstone in enabling these conversations. So, what are the utopian aspects of this movie? An average person in India is exposed to so many different languages, foods, and cultural traditions. However, mainstream pop culture has failed miserably in how it represents cultures and people from oppressed caste groups, the LGBTQ community, and women. Let's look at the Tamil movie industry as an example. The cultural depiction of dominant caste communities is usually reverential, whereas the folk traditions of some communities are consistently misrepresented and appropriated by dominant caste men. In a society that reduces marginalized narratives to pitiable stereotypes, the characters in Natchathiram Nagargiradhu savored the philosophical poetry of Inaraja songs, celebrated with the sounds of Ghana and hip-hop, and grieved the injustice of caste-based honor killings with the healing sounds of Oppari.
But wait, there's more. Art comes from intense suffering. My name is Tenma, but it wasn't always this. My real name is Debocious. 18 months ago, I was a homeless man, depressed, like I was couch surfing. I was just completely broke. I wrote countless suicide letters and I was abandoned by everybody. அடிச்சு புடிச்சு ஒலச்சி கிழிச்சு தடுக்கி விழுந்த நான் எழுந்து நடக்க பழகும் பொழுது குழியில் விழுகிறேன்.
Tenma's music direction in this movie is versatile and creates an inclusive canvas that allows people from all walks of life to feel welcome. When art comes from a place of existential suffering, it carries with it the immense capacity to reach the masses and heal the unspoken wounds of generational trauma. By treating these art forms with the respect and dignity that has been denied in numerous mainstream movies, Natchathiram Nagargiradhu is providing youngsters grappling with an identity crisis a very powerful medium to reflect on their roots. When it comes to the casting and character depictions, Ranjith surpasses the bland templates available for female and queer characters. Most Tamil movies lazily resort to boxing female protagonists into misinformed stereotypes.
God, Daddy!
The female characters in Natchathiram Nagargiradhu subvert all these established stereotypes. Renes is a character that houses so many layers. She goes from feeling boundless wonder while staring at the night sky to rousing rage at the injustices in society. She excels at her artistic craft and indulges in the pursuit of literature and music, and she also holds space for people and their flaws as much as possible. She is on a journey of self exploration that involves confronting her pain, but this is precisely how she grows. Sylvia's character invokes respect and empathy. She loves and cares fiercely, surrounds herself with joy and beauty, and she is not afraid to confront bullies and demand respectful treatment. This is a stark contrast to how trans folk are denied agency and dehumanized on a daily basis in India. And now, let's look at the other characters in the theatre troupe. People of various castes, genders, sexualities, language, and ages coexist in a shared space. They possess a range of opinions on seemingly basic questions like what is love, but the group is able to come together, express individual views, and have a constructive dialogue. We see the complexity behind laughter, anger, joy, sadness, regret, compassion, confusion, and heartbreak. A healthy society is one where everyone has the safe space to love anyone freely, is treated with dignity and respect, gets support and compassion to rectify one's flaws, where everyone has a deep-rooted awareness of one's history, but most importantly, is able to express their truths openly without the fear of persecution. Ranjith pays close attention to having a peaceful group of diverse individuals, even in scenes where it might first escape your notice. That kind of commitment to celebrating diversity in society is so refreshing given the current political climate that thrives on antagonizing and dividing people on sectarian lines. I was also impressed by how the male characters deal with patriarchal, gendered, and casteist conditioning by discussing consent and dealing with rejection and humiliation in seemingly healthy ways.
24 hours they are together only.
Hey, friend na friend da.
அது எப்படி தல? உன் மெட்லினு she was hugging that Indian tightly today. அதுவும் friend தானா?
ஏய் எந்த போர்டிங் ஸ்கூல்ல படிச்ச? ஒரு ஆம்பளை பொம்பளை கட்டி பிடிச்சினா லவ்வா? ஷிட்.
என்ன சார் எப்ப பார்த்தா லவ்னு பேசினீங்க. இந்த வார்த்தை அண்ணா இங்க பேசுனீங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். ஒரு நட்புனா என்ன பிரச்சனை தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு? நம்மலாம் உட்கார்ந்து குச்சினுக்குறோம். அந்த பையன் வாயை பத்துனுக்குறான். எடா கொடமா நான் சொல்ல வந்துட்டேன்.
முடியாதுனா விட்டுறணும். No means.
Contrast this with the pathetic machismo that gets glorified in most other movies.
I don't care. That's your problem.
The characters in Natchathiram Nagargiradhu are far from perfect. But people are allowed the liberty to be flawed as long as they are willing to introspect and understand the effect their behavior is having on others. When faced with the debilitating realization of social injustice, being honor killing or breach of consent, they convert the grief, outrage, and frustration into introspective art. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar encouraged his people to educate themselves about their roots and embrace the path of Buddha's Dhamma. Brahminical ideology has crushed many souls, but the downtrodden shall remember the wounds and wisdom of the collective trauma. By documenting stories told by the victims of honor killings, Ranjith has created a cultural tool that can hold the perpetrators of casteism accountable for their crimes. Any change in status quo tends to create a revolution. A cultural revolution has arrived in Tamil cinema, and it is here to stay. Natchathiram Nagargiradhu encourages the audience to imagine a world that is driven by humanistic values like love, empathy, compassion, and dignity. Envisioning utopia is a very powerful source of hope and can enable us to move towards a better, more equitable society. In that regard, utopias are usually a response to the existing socio-political realities. Natchathiram Nagargiradhu illuminates a utopia that is inspired by the ideals of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Gautama Buddha, laying the foundation for a generation of Ambedkarites who dream of a society that celebrates being human and the capacity to love over the social barriers of caste, gender, language, and religion.